Hello everyone, if you are new here, my name is Chantal and today I'm going to be planting two Stevens cranberries. These cranberries grow about 1 to 2 feet high and 2 to 3 feet wide, and they are also evergreen, and they will bloom these beautiful reddish pink flowers, I believe, in the spring, and then they will also set fruits, and their fruits, of course, cranberries are going to be red, and they're going to last throughout the whole season as they grow, and they will ripen by the end of the fall, and you harvest them right before the frost season. Cranberries like an acidic soil. They like it to be around 4.5 to 5.5 pH. So our soil is 6.8. Because of that, I'm going to be adding some soil acidifier. I'm also going to be amending the soil with some Hollytone. Hollytone already has sulfur in it. It has some bionutrients in it that are going to be great for these plants. But the reason why I'm adding soil acidifier is because I have already experienced having plants in this soil that like acidic soil. The Hollytone on its own, especially in the first season, is not going to be enough to give it the acidity that it needs, because we kind of want to get that soil to the acidity that this plant loves very quickly, otherwise it's going to suffer. And plants that like an acidic soil will suffer pretty quickly. You'll start seeing the damage on them. They won't put on a lot of growth. They will start having some yellow leaves and some reddish leaves as well. You will see yellow leaves with some green veining in them, and that is called chlorosis, and that is because they are not able to get the nutrients that they need from the soil. By acidifying the soil, those plants will be able to have access to the nutrients that they need from the soil. For any plant that requires an acidic soil, you either want to plant it in a pot, or you want to make sure to acidify your soil really well, and you can measure the soil's acidity with a pH meter to make sure that you are reaching the proper pH, because you also don't want to have your soil to go too low on the pH. You want to make sure it's the proper pH for the plant. I have a pH test meter. I just stick it in the ground and it reads the pH of the soil for me. So you can get something like that, and I wish I had it with me right now, but I don't. And you can also use a pH test kit, and that is a chemical test kit, which you will mix some of the soil with the chemical that's already in the kit. You have these test tubes, and it comes with test tubes that also test the magnesium of the soil and potassium, I think, and one of them is for the pH. And then you can kind of check on the color of the water after it sits in a little bit, and if it's too green, it depends on the test kit, but the test kit that I was using, if it's kind of a dark green, that means it's a higher pH, or kind of on the neutral side. So it has different colors, and you can follow the chart, and it will tell you exactly what is the pH of your soil. So those are going to be very helpful if you are going to plant a plant that requires an acidic soil and you are not sure if your soil is proper for that plant. If you have really high pH, you really want to make sure to acidify your soil. And if you have already an acidic soil, then you are lucky and you don't need to acidify your soil. But for those of us who are not that lucky, we do have to add a soil acidifier. And I'm using Job's organic soil acidifier, and this is just a sulfur. It's two different types of sulfur, I believe, but sulfur is the compound that is going to help acidify the soil. These are going to grow into beautiful mounds, and again, they are going to be evergreen, so they are going to provide us with some color in the spring. They're going to provide us some color in the fall with the red cranberries, and as well in the winter. So we are going to have beautiful color all season long, all year round, and also they're beautiful They're not going to grow too tall, so they're wonderful for if you want to create a border with them. That would be great. Instead of let's say boxwoods, you can create a border with some cranberries, and you can have both the beauty and the edible factor of the cranberry plant. For me, I probably should not plant them as a border because I'm going to be struggling the entire time to make sure that the soil is the acidity that it should be. If I'm able to grow them here successfully, then I might think about planting them as a border, as long as the deer don't eat them, because that's another problem. I'm not sure if the deer like these plants or not. So I got this plant off of fast-growing trees. The deer that come to our land over here. So I have 2 cranberries, and they are going to be flanking this statue over here, and I have some water with in the woods over there.
Where?
Inside over there, where all the trees are. So these 2 cranberries are going to be flanking that statue over there, and to kind of give it a little bit of a formal appearance. This is going to be more of a cottage garden in here, but I do love both the aspects of a cottage garden, and I also love the formal garden as well. And so I want to create kind of a beautiful border around this area, and that will be coming in an upcoming video, to create kind of a formal feel on the outside, and on the inside it's going to be more like a cottage garden. And in there, that has a bird bath bowl in it, and I put some gravel in there, and I filled it with water, and this is going to allow the bees access to the water over here instead of them going into the vegetable garden, because last season they were constantly going into the vegetable garden because there's water available for them over there, and I got stung in the leg 4 times in the same place. I actually had 7 stingers in my pants, and 4 of them went in the same leg on my knee. So I don't want that experience again. It wasn't that painful, but it's not, you know, I would just rather have them in their element over here instead of in the vegetable garden, because when I'm going out and harvesting fruits and pruning and weeding and all that, and if they are near the water, they kind of get aggravated, and that's when they sting. Otherwise, they're right here next to me, and they really don't, they're not harmful at all. I'm standing like, I don't know, like 10 feet away from them. I know the camera is a little bit crooked, and they're not flying into my hair, they're just leaving me alone, they're not bumping me in the head, they're not angry at me, so they're pretty happy in here. So cranberries require about 3 to 5 years in order to start producing fruits. I don't know how old this is. It looks like a 1-year-old or maybe a little bit younger, so I'm going to have to wait about 2 or 3 years for this plant to start producing. So let's go ahead and place it and get planting. They are both in right now. There's one right here and one over there. You probably can't see them, but I'm going to try to show you. So this one right here only has just a little stem on it with a few branches branching out of it. Give it just a couple seasons and this thing is going to grow really well, and it's going to put on some more growth. And this one came with a bit more growth, and you can see it's looks pretty healthy. The other one, I did lose one stem off of it in transit. So I have this cardboard here because actually this whole entire area is mulched with cardboard and wood chips, and this season I need to put some more mulch over it because I am seeing the cardboard again, and I'm seeing a lot of weed seeds everywhere. I mean, look at this. I love you. I love you. So weeds are growing everywhere in here, so I need to just kind of tackle this area. So what I do is every day I come out here and I weed a little bit. I don't have to do it all at once because this is a giant space and I have to weed it all. So I have to weed in front of the bees and around them because we do get some weeds over there. There is a landscaping fabric in that area just for the bees and in the pathway, but weeds still pop up in there and I have to pull them out. The landscaping fabric does help a little bit, and also it helps to make the ground firm under that area because this is a boggy area again. And I don't know if I mentioned this, but cranberries do like boggy soil. If I did, I'm sorry, but I just want to make sure that you guys know that they do not like dry soil. They prefer to live in moist environments, and this area over here is boggy and it's perfect for them. So now I have a whole bunch of perennials in here, meaning the asparagus right there, and also a couple rhubarbs, one on each side of the entryway. So I have this one over here and the other one over there. The other one is pretty small, and that is because it did struggle a lot last year, but this year it's going to bounce back and I'm going to be giving it some fertilizer. I thought I lost it last year, but it had a tiny little green nub on it and I just left it in there. I did not buy a replacement. I thought, let me give it a chance and see, and it did come back. So I'm happy I did not purchase another one. I think give it just one more year and it's going to be great. So I have some plant tone with me and some biotone because I don't think I have enough plant tone. But I'm going to be fertilizing the rhubarb with a plant tone, and I'm going to use the biotone on the asparagus over here, which is going to actually be perfect. This is the second year for these asparagus. I grew them from seed. So the reason why the biotone is going to be perfect, because I believe it has, I could be mistaken, but I believe it has a vitamin B in it and some other beneficial things that are going to be good for the roots, and we need these asparagus to grow their roots. That's what we're trying to grow in here. The foliage helps them develop the starches in the roots and helps them grow bigger roots, and the bigger the asparagus root is, the more asparagus you'll end up with. And next season I'll be able to harvest off of them. I did mention in the video, I believe that's going to be published before this video, that I did listen, or I did read an article written by a farmer who has been dealing with a lot of scientists, soil scientists, in growing asparagus. He's a commercial farmer, and he was talking about whether you should harvest asparagus in the second season or not. And he was saying that some people say you should, some people say you shouldn't, and the reason why those people who say you should is because when you do break off some of the asparagus, it's going to encourage that root to grow a lot more foliage. Just like kind of when you prune a plant, it's going to allow it to push more growth, and by just taking one of the asparagus shoots, or two if your asparagus is a little more vigorous, it's going to cause the asparagus root to grow more shoots in order to photosynthesize. And the more photosynthesis it can get, the bigger the root will be, because the photosynthesis is going to allow it to store sugars in the root, and it's going to grow that root bigger. So I harvested one off of each of these asparagus shoots over here, and just to kind of encourage that root growth, and hopefully that actually works out. We'll see. I did it on all of them with exception to one or maybe two, I don't remember. And the reason why I didn't on the other two is because they were too small to do that on. And that kind of acted as a control for me, I suppose, and we'll see next season if these asparagus that I harvested off are going to be bigger or the other ones are going to be bigger. I mean, the other ones were already smaller, so we'll see. Maybe this season they'll grow bigger. And because last season I think some of them were covered by a squash plant that I had growing right there, and it grew on its own. I just left it there and I harvested off of it. It was my favorite squash plant, so I left it and it was great. Also, I think I had actually two squash plants in there. But anyways, so let's go ahead and fertilize these plants and feed them because I am late on doing so. The best time to fertilize your perennials and your shrubs is in early spring before they start putting on the growth, but I'm a little bit late. It's all right. And I also have a couple blueberries. I have one right here and one right over there. I forgot to talk about them. So these are going to be also addressed. I need to fertilize them with some Hollytone. Late winter I came over here and I gave them some fertilizer, and I gave them also some soil acidifier because I want to make sure that acidity is going to go down. And right now I'm going to be fertilizing with Hollytone for these blueberries because they also prefer an acidic soil around the same as like cranberries, around 4.5 to 6 pH. So I want to make sure they reach at least the 5 pH, which is, I think, is a happy medium, and it's going to be good. This is the reason why I'm fertilizing with Hollytone, because it has sulfur in it already, so that's going to help with acidifying the soil. So let's go ahead and do all the fertilizing that we very awesome hibiscus, and it makes these beautiful dark pink flowers in fall, midsummer to fall. And I have two of them. I have also one over there, so I totally forgot about fertilizing them. I got them last year, and these are proven winner variety, and I planted them, I think, in the early spring, and they're just starting to put on some growth, so I need to fertilize them. I don't have a lot of the plant tone, so I'm probably going to be giving each of them a little bit of the plant tone and some biotone just to kind of balance it out so that they can grow. And I think the biotone is going to be good anyways. This is their second year, so it's only going to help them to root better. And if you're wondering what these rows are, I have one row over here, one row over here, another over there, and another over there. So I planted here a whole bunch of zinnias. And I also ended up planting the last row on the inside with blue flax, and the same with that side over there. And this side is going to have yellow cosmos on this side. That's only because I ran out of the zinnia seeds, but I'm glad I did plant the blue flax over here. I'm going to be using these for a project that I have, and these are going to be cut flowers, so the blue flax is going to work perfectly with them. If you are interested in the varieties that I planted over here, you can go ahead and watch that video. I'll link it for you guys in the description box below, and maybe I'll put it at the end of this video also. So this is what's happening in here. So I have a lot of plants for this garden. I'm going to be putting a whole bunch of astilbes probably around this statue over here. I know this is a full sun area, but it's a boggy area, so I think the astilbes should be okay in here. If I notice that they are getting fried, then I'll move them somewhere more shady, because astilbes like a shady location, and this is a full sun location. So I'm going to give them a chance in here and see if they do well. So let's go ahead and fertilize these. So this is what went on today. If you are interested in the progress of this garden over here, cottage slash formal garden, stick around, hit that subscribe button and the bell to receive notifications of whenever I upload new videos. We have 2 acres over here and I have so many projects all over our 2 acres, and I'm constantly expanding gardens and creating new gardens and new spaces for us to enjoy and for you to enjoy and to watch. And so until next time, you can click on this video over here and watch it. I'll put up the video of when I planted the hibiscus over here so that you can enjoy it. And if you like this video, don't forget to hit that like button. I really appreciate you watching and I appreciate you commenting. I'd love to chat with you in the comments below, and thank you for sticking around, for watching this video all the way to the end, for those of you who did. I really appreciate that. So until next time, thank you so much for watching and I'll see you again next time. Bye.